Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. So we are going to depart for a short period from our Catalyst journey and have a look at the world of AI, and in particular this is going to be the first video in a short playlist which I hope will help you complete the Agentblazer Innovator Trailhead. Now, this journey will require you to complete a number of courses, the majority of which are the usual format for Trailhead courses. In other words, read some material, possibly watch some videos, and then answer a few questions based on the material that you've just looked at. I'm going to leave you to work through these, and you won't need any help in navigating this material if you've done anything on Trailhead. It's straightforward. However, the Trailhead does contain 2 Superbadges, which obviously require a bit more understanding and a lot more effort. There's no way around these badges, and they will help to ensure that you've understood all of the material that you've just consumed. So let's get on with some tips on what you need to do, and hopefully you'll find these useful. Now, just to set expectations, I will give you guidance and tips, but I will not actually be completing the exercises as part of these videos. You need to do the exercises, and that will provide the satisfaction that you've understood the whole course. So let's start in this video with the Prompt Builder Templates Superbadge. We'll work through the use case for the work that needs to be done. And for each of the Superbadges, you will require a new pre-prepared org with some material that we'll be working on already present in that org, and with some actions already completed for you. So the first thing that we need to do as part of this course is to create a new org. Now, it's important to remember that the org that is provided for you is only available for a short period of time. So make sure that you have the time to complete the challenges before you start. If you don't finish in the given time, which I think is about 2 days, then you may have to start all over again. So we're going to have a look at the use case in a minute, but there are going to be 3 challenges in this first part. Challenge 1 is to translate text with a prompt template and a record triggered flow. And to do that, there are 3 actions that we need to take. We need to create a prompt template, we need to update the record triggered flow, and then we need to test the flow. In challenge 2, we're going to build an AI generated summary of related records. And there are 4 things that we need to do here. We need to create a custom field. We need to create a prompt template. We need to update the contact record page and then test the feature. And then the 3rd challenge is to create a prompt template for an engagement email. And there are only 2 things that we need to do there. We need to create a prompt template and then we need to test it. So, because I don't want to produce videos that take a very long time, I'm going to go to a place where we've got 3 or 4 separate videos that's going to cover this first part of the Superbadge. So in this video, we're going to jump over and have a look at the use case before we then, in the next video, start looking at the challenges in a little bit more detail. So let's jump over to Trailhead and start having a look at the use case. Okay, so we're over on Trailhead, as you can see, and the Prompt Builder Templates Superbadge unit. So as I said in the introduction, What we're going to be doing here today is create prompt templates, prompt template instructions, and calling a prompt template in a simple flow. So if you look down here, you will see sign up for a developer edition org with special configuration that I've talked about previously. And remember, this only is allowed, or is only available, I should say, for a few days. I think it's 2 days. So once you start on these exercises, please make sure that you've got enough time to actually complete the exercises before the org runs out, because if it does, you'll have to come back and start again. So we've got here some additional configurations that the use case is telling you about. So we're going to be using Einstein Generative AI to work on Prompt Builder Templates. You must have your org configured to use English as the user language. And you've got to be logged into your Trailhead account. Now obviously I am for this, but I've actually completed all of these already. So like I said, I'm not going to take you through the actual challenges. I'm just going to provide hints and tips. So there's an important note here. So before you begin any of the challenges, review this Prompt Builder Template Superbadge unit on the Trailhead Challenge help. That will give you some useful information. So once you've done all of this and looked through all of the notes here, you've done all the prerequisite units as we discussed, you can then come here and start looking at the use case. So again, the use case, I'm not going to read this in detail, but we're going to use the Tranquil's Trails Wellness Company to do all of these exercises, and you're going to take the role of the Salesforce administrator, and you'll use that to execute these. So let's have a look at the business requirements. So like we said, the first challenge is translate text with a prompt template and a record triggered flow. So below that, you can read this, but wherever you've got highlighted text like this, translate survey input, like account, contact, fitness, and especially where you see areas of text like this, you will see a couple that have got a copy available. You know that you're going to have to copy those and paste them somewhere. So, and in here, this will become more relevant later on when we go through the course, you will see some areas have got square brackets. Where you've got a square bracket, you're going to have to replace those, and we will come on to more detail about that later. So you can see here we've got translate survey input. That's another field that's going to get used, and you've got some examples here that you will need to use in this area. And then you've got some names of people that you will be using. Remember, these have already been set up for you in the org, so you'll be using people like Latricia Bryce to do testing as we go through. And here we've got some text that is obviously not in English that we're going to have to translate using the work that we're doing. Right, good. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is to build an AI-generated summary of related records. So again, we've got these fields here that we know we're going to need to use somewhere, and we've got pointers to help articles. Now, it's probably useful if you read these before you actually start the exercises, unless you have got plenty of time. Like I say, you do need that time to actually come in and read all of this. And again, we've got another area of text here that we know we're going to have to copy and paste somewhere. And then we come on to the task to create a prompt template for an engagement email. And again, we've got some text here. Anything that's highlighted is especially important. And again, another area of text. And in this one, we've got the prompt template workspace. We know that we're going to need to copy this into the prompt template workspace when we get there. So read through the use case, take special note of these areas and things that you know you're going to have to use as you go through. And in the next video we will go back to the beginning here, translate text with a prompt template and a record triggered flow, and I'm going to talk you through what you need to do in that video. So that will be challenge 1. There will then be another video for challenge 2 and a third video for challenge 3. And hopefully once you've done that and understood those, you should be able to complete this super badge. So hopefully I'll see you in that next video when we'll look at challenge 1, and the video will be quite short then, I think, or a lot shorter than this one. Okay, see you later.